Hi, lovelies. I wanted to jump on and do a little bit of a channeled message today, live. If this message has found you, then it may be for a reason. I just want to say a shout out to Anne, and F is for Francis. I appreciate both of you like you don't even know how much I appreciate both of you for your comments and consistent love on my channel. You mean much to me. Uh, so I wanted to talk about how difficult spiritual awakening is. I feel like there's this idea for many people that spiritual awakening looks like a coming to complete and utter peace and serenity and joy and all the good things that you want. Like you get all the cash and prizes. And that is the opposite of my experience. And there's a little bit of like, I was thinking about it, and Spirit was like, you need to go and make a video right now. So here I am right now making a video because when you enter into connection with the spirit realm, and we all have the opportunity to be connected. It's like a radio station. Are you in tune or are you not? And when you choose to get in tune, life starts to be seen from ways that you could have never imagined. You start to see people for who they are. You start to see you for who you are. You start to see your childhood for what it was. You start to see truth. And as people, we are addicted to comfort, especially in modern days. We are addicted to comfort. So, truth is uncomfortable when we first step into it. And so, what I want to say is that if you are stepping into spiritual awakening or you're realizing that you have spent many years living a lie and it is eating at you, it is okay. It is more than okay. You are in the right place. Oh, and just accepting that is so powerful because when life begins to open up for us or we start to see the truth, we realize that we may have been carrying patterns within our everyday life that we no longer want. Confirmation burp. Or we we may be comparing ourselves to other people. Some of you may be even comparing yourself to me, saying like, who the hell is this young queer man sitting on here with all, knowing all this and at this, young age. And I tell you that, it is never too late for you. It is never too late for you. The only way you can fail is if you stop trying. And the fact that you have gotten to spiritual awakening in this lifetime means that this is a path that you had to enter on. We cannot compare ourselves to others. It takes some of us longer than others to get to a certain place. Our souls each have a different story, but we also have so many similarities that we can commune together about. But we have to recognize and realize that we are different in many ways. And accepting our differences doesn't make us uh, it doesn't make us less than or that we are trying to separate ourselves or isolate ourselves from one another. It's just important to realize and recognize that all of our experiences are different. And many of us can speak from our own experience and really nothing else. But as we shift into this divine knowing, into this spiritual awakening, we start to connect to the experiences of others. we get awakened into a brutal reality. We realize that the world has tried to put us into boxes. So we have, oh my God, I almost just choked. So we have tried to put ourselves and everybody else into boxes, expecting everybody to play a certain role. And Spirit spoke to me today that I don't have to take everything so personally. The jealousy, the mean words, all the things from other people that they are projecting onto me is just a physical representation of their bitterness, misery, and discontent in their own lives. Because the truth is, everybody is trying to fit a mold in a box, and everybody feels like they don't belong. You know, in my personal life today, my sister's boyfriend's family came to ask for her hand in marriage. And it was beautiful, and it was spiritual, and it was tribal. I felt so connected to my ancestors today. Um, but as I witnessed it all, I realized that there was not a place for me, you know? And some people will say, oh, like, I know my sister, if she even sees this, hi, sister. And she's like, oh my God, Samurai, my life wouldn't be anything without you, and I want you in my wedding. And she doesn't understand how outcasted it is to be me. And I'm not trying to bring this pity party, and I'm not saying that you should feel sorry for me, okay? It's just my experience. And there's no shame in acknowledging that experience. Because peace is the word of the oppressor. Peace is not achieved in denial, it is achieved through acceptance of truth. So these people, these religious teachings, or the misconstrued nature of many spiritual paths that have told you that peace is about turning the other cheek, meaning that you should be passive, not admit your worries, your hardships, or allow others to mistreat you, is a fallacy. What it's saying is that in acceptance of truth, an acknowledgement of the truth, an acceptance of truth, reality, you are able to achieve peace. And the truth is, my 5'5" Palestinian Syrian queer from a Christian family, whatever, all these little things, right? I'm not having the oppression Olympics, but all these little things, they set me apart. They set me apart. And somebody might come in and say, well, you fit in better than me, and I might, maybe. But as I was witnessing this, I was realizing, oh my goodness, uh, there is, my life is not going to be like how the Arab society expected of me. Because my Arab family, Arab society would have expected me to be taller and bigger handed, because my uncle in Lebanon even made comments to me that just how petite I am is just like another manifestation of my femininity, and is like an abomination, really. So the ideal people in my family, or men in my family, are providers, are people who, men in Middle Eastern cultures, are, not allowed to feel, supposed to take on all the struggle of everybody in the family unit. Even as I witnessed the death and murder of my people in Palestine, I noticed the emphasis and the grabs for empathy is listed on women and children, without the acknowledgement that, like, Arab men also matter. Like, there's almost like this okay from the world for men to be negated. And I feel like this really ties into so many of our societal issues because this pressure is put on a man and they are disregarded so heavily that they begin to disregard and mistreat all those around them. And it is just a constant pass down of trauma from one another to the next, a constant pass down of karmic lessons amongst each other. And while I acknowledge the pain of a Middle Eastern man, it doesn't mean that I have to disregard or not acknowledge the pain of a Middle Eastern woman, child, non-binary person. You know, there is everybody has their own struggle, but I'm just speaking what was expected of me. I was supposed to be masculine. I was supposed to be hyper masculine. I was supposed to be toxically masculine. I was supposed to be tall and large and macho and good at sports and a sacrificer and that was just never me. I wanted to play music. I was little. I was fat. I was Palestinian. I wanted to play with girls and Barbies, and I never fit the mold. And this necklace that I'm wearing is actually a James Baldwin quote. I love him. He's an absolutely amazing poet, and we owe a lot of our advancements to queer people. Is another thing that I heard today. Because as I was sitting amongst the family, they were playing music. Luther Vandross was playing, and I was like, wow, you know, it came to me from spirit. At the center of all divinity and art and just art, music, literature, all these things, at the center of it, at the center of it are queer black people. And that is the truth. And they get disregarded time and time and time again. And as a queer Palestinian, I am proud to stand by them, to learn from them, and to acknowledge them. James Baldwin, Audre Lorde, Luther Vandross, Whitney Houston. I mean, you just, you know, and even in the advancements in my family, the people that have done the most, lived the most liberating life and set the standard for emotional healing have been queer people. And that is the truth. So this quote says, oops, I hope that didn't make too much. The place in which I'll fit will not exist until I make it. So that being said, as you're awakening spiritually and you're stepping into this place, you realize that you have to shed all of these societal expectations, these childhood expectations, these cultural expectations that were placed upon you. What a woman is supposed to be, what a mother's supposed to be, what a father's supposed to be, what a husband's supposed to be, what a man's supposed to be, what a child's supposed to be. All these things. You have to rip them away and ask yourself from the bottom of your heart center, from the core of your heart center, what and how can I live authentically? In which way do I want to live? Because that is how you connect to the voice of God. You don't need some screaming man on a pulpit. You do not need a buffer between you and the divine. You are divine, and you have a well within you that can tap in. You can tap in at any moment. And your heart is like a thermometer for spiritual truth. So I say this to say, not many people acknowledge that spiritual awakening is so difficult and hard, and the awareness that comes with it is so overwhelming. is extremely and entirely overwhelming. And I hope something I said today made some sense to you. Let me switch this. I really do. I really hope something I said made sense to you or resonated in your soul. And I want you to know that if it's hard right now, especially if you found this video and you stayed this long and it's hard right now, I want you to know that you are exactly where you're supposed to be because you are purging. You are experiencing a spring cleaning. I am a part of the divine collective that knows that the new year begins at the end of March, April, right? And I was watching a beautiful woman of God speak about Esther's story today, from the book of Esther, and she acknowledged that March 20th is like the new year. And so I was just talking about this to some of you that are been on my channel for a while. You know, we were just talking about vision boards. We were just talking about vision boards. I want you to drop into your heart center to know that this truth, this healing, this divine grace, it takes time to settle within our flesh. It takes much time for it to settle within us. It takes time for us to get to that place of serenity and acceptance. And at first, it's just a lot of fear and denial. And I tell you now, not to just like push those things away. Don't push the fear and the denial away, but acknowledge them. Know where they came from. Most likely your childhood. Most likely childhood trauma or family generational trauma, ancestral trauma. Acknowledge where they come from and say, I hear you, but I don't have to live like that today. I do not have to live this way today. When that voice in your head says, oh, but, you know, because Samer, you're gay, you shouldn't put yourself out there. You shouldn't show up for your sister's engagement because some people may be homophobic. And they were. And they were. Okay? And they were. But that doesn't mean that I should stop showing up to life on life's terms. I lead by example today. Because again, your mistreatment is just a physical representation of your misery and your own lack of self-love and acceptance. So I truly, from the bottom of my heart, I wish you healing. I wish you love. And I know how hard it is. You know, when I wish you healing and I wish you love and I wish you spirituality, I'm wishing some serious blessings onto you, but they come at a price. Our freedom comes at a price. Our emotional soundness comes at a price. We have to unlearn the ways in which the world has been built to control us in order to be, you know, the alchemists of our own reality and fate or destiny. And I'm here to tell you that the chosen of God are those who choose themselves. All right. Peace and blessings. This has been a long one.